friends, today we are going to discuss on the topic tones in an RC passage. Now, tones are important questions when it comes to the verbal ability and reading comprehension section in a lot of entrance exams. So we call the VARC section or the English section, irrespective of the entrance exams that you take, be it the MBA entrance exams, the law entrance exams, the BPA or the IPMAT entrance exams, the banking or the SSC entrance exams. Understanding the tone of the author is important, not only with regard to answering the question related to what is the tone of the author, but more importantly, understanding what is the main idea of the passage. Now, tones primarily reflect whether the author is positive with respect to an issue, negative with respect to issue, or neutral with respect to issue. What is the mood of the author? What is the style of the author? And what is the way of speaking of the author? Let's have a look at some of the questions for us to understand the tones that various authors use in order to convey their ideas. Okay. When we look to tones in RC passages, tone refers to the author's attitude towards the topic. It helps us in understanding the RC passages better. Now, let's identify the tone of the author in the given passage. Although the new policy on climate change proposes ambitious goals, the vagueness surrounding. Now, let's pick up the words. The vagueness surrounding the implementation of the process raises concerns. Something raises concerns. I'm not very happy with the situation is what I can feel. The officials claim lack of concrete backing. Again, something not very happy, making it unclear. Now, if you look at all these words, what are we looking forward to? We are looking at the author is concerned, the author is not very happy, he is not sure the new policy on climate change, how is it going to be? It is vague regarding implementation, it raises concerns, there is lack of concrete backing, unclear. So we can very well say the author is not positive. Now when we say that the author is not positive, can I remove options? Optimistic? No, definitely not. Neutral? No. He is skeptical, he is doubtful? Yes. So option B would be the correct answer. Let's move further. Despite the challenges faced by the country's economy, the government's new policies suggest a promising path forward. Now look at this word, a promising path forward. With a renewed focus on innovation and education, there is hope for a brighter future. Now, if you look at the words promising, renewed, brighter, even if you look at it in the normal context, the author's idea is positive. So, if we look at the tone, he is optimistic, a renewed focus, a brighter future, a promising path. So, the author is optimistic, hopeful for better times ahead. Okay, so I hope you understand what. Now, let's look at another question. With climate change accelerating and political will faltering, with climate change accelerating. Now we all understand climate change, and climate change accelerating means things are not good. Okay, and political will faltering. Political will means promises not being kept, or the wherewithal that is needed in order to implement policies related to climate change. People are going back on their stand. It seems unlikely. Now, if we look at this, it seems unlikely that we will avert the impending ecological disaster. So we are talking of disaster. Our collective apathy is pushing us closer to irreversible damage. So is the author optimistic? Definitely no. Is he sarcastic? No, he's directly mentioning what the problem is. Our collective apathy is pushing us closer. Apathy is dislike. Okay. So the author is pessimistic with regard to the present day situation. The author is not happy with the way things are. He is saying the political will is faltering. We are moving towards an impending ecological disaster, and we are moving towards an irreversible damage. So we look political will faltering, ecological disaster, irreversible damage. The tone is pessimistic. When we look at sarcastic, sarcastic is it's a wow, fantastic. We are doing nothing about it. That would be sarcastic. Okay, let's look at another question. The author's theory on socio-economic reforms, while compelling, fails to address. Now look, it fails to address, even though the author's theory, while compelling, fails to address key issues such as wealth inequality and systemic corruption. Without these considerations, the theory appears incomplete, superficial. Okay, so when we look at it fails to address, it is incomplete, it is superficial. So I'm critical of the author's theory on socio-economic reforms. So the correct answer option here would be critical. Okay, let's move further. Oh, what a fantastic idea. To let artificial intelligence decide everything for us. task. We don't need to do anything. It's fantastic because surely machines understand human emotions and moral dilemmas better than we do. So, what are we saying? But surely, because surely this is sarcasm. Machines understand human beings better than human beings themselves. Now, that is sarcastic. Sarcastic, remember, the intention is negative. Okay, imagine if someone fails in an examination and the teacher says, wow, you have done wonderfully. That is sarcastic. Let's move further. The past decade has seen an unprecedented technological surge, but it is worth questioning what we have lost in the process. Have we sacrificed genuine human connections for digital convenience? So, the past decade, so I'm looking back, I'm reflecting on the situation, has seen unprecedented technological surge, but it's worth questioning what we have lost in the process. I'm reflecting on the situation, what was gained, what was lost. So the idea here is reflective. Okay, we need to look back and see what we have gained, what we have lost. So the tone here is reflective. Reflective means looking back into the situation and analyzing the situation. Let's look at the next one. The study reveals that plants absorb carbon dioxide, a process that helps mitigate climate change. The absorption occurs primarily through photosynthesis. So the author is not giving his own thoughts, ideas into the picture. He is simply stating what the study reveals. So he's very objective in the process. We can use the words objective, we can use the terms informative or factual here as well. Objective means straightforward, to the point, completely informal. Sorry, completely formal. No emotions, nothing. Okay, let's look at another one. The artist's ability to capture the essence of human emotions in his paintings is remarkable. Now, look, we have our keywords here. We need to look for emotive words while we are solving questions on what we call as tones. Each stroke of the brush conveys a profound sense, a deep sense, a profound sensitivity that resonates with the users. So the author is positive about the artist's ability. So he is critical, he's appreciative, he's sarcastic, he's appreciative. Let's look at another question. The report outlines the annual performance of the organization across various sectors. It includes data on revenues, expenses, and workforce distribution without an analysis of effectiveness. Now, what is the paragraph talking about? It's talking about a report, what it contains and what it does not contain. It contains revenue, expenses, workforce. It does not contain an analysis on effectiveness. So I'm presenting my views? No. I'm simply saying what it contains and what it does not contain. So the idea here is neutral. The author is not presenting his views, his ideas. It's simply talking to the point. Okay. It is outrageous. Now, again, we get our keywords. It is outrageous that a handful of corporations have control over most of our food supply. Such monopolies undermine fair competition. Such monopolies undermine. So when we look at these words, we are indignant. Indignant as angry. It is outrageous. And I'm angry at the situation that a handful of corporations have control over most of our food supply. It undermines fair competition and consumer rights. I'm angry at the situation. The process of photosynthesis is essential for life on Earth. Plants convert sunlight into energy, releasing oxygen as a byproduct, which is crucial for sustaining life. Informative. Doling out information, nothing more, nothing less. What is there? I'm just stating the obvious. It is alarming. Now, look, again, we have the words. It is alarming how leaders continue to ignore scientific warnings about climate change. Their lack of action, even if such as shows a blatant disregard, a complete waste. So it is. If we look at the word disapproving, I am critical of the idea. I am not supportive of the idea. I am negative about the idea. Now again, see her relentless commitment. The idea is positive, is truly inspiring. She has devoted years to helping those in need. So I am admiring of her. As we progress further into the digital, one must wonder what the long-term impact of such rapid advancement. Are we truly prepared for what the future holds? I'm not sure. To some extent, I'm not sure. I'm looking into the future, what the future holds. I'm contemplating various scenarios, various situations. So possibly here, if we reflective would be looking back, skeptical, I'm not okay with the new technology. I'm doubtful about the things. Here, the authors say, are we truly prepared for what the future holds? So it might be good. Agree. So here the tone would be more of contempt. I'm thinking about various scenarios. I'm thinking various scenarios that might build up. Okay. Now, it is amusing to how people think technology will solve every problem, considering how many of our problems are caused by technology itself. Now, people think technology will solve every problem. The author feels technology causes problems. These are contrasting ideas. Technology solves problems, technology causes problems. The tone is ironic. Ironic is what you expect to happen and what happens are two contradictory phenomena. Okay, the nation erupted in joy. So I think we have the answers. The nation erupted in joy when the team secured the victory. Fans took to the streets celebrating what felt like a miraculous moment. So we have the words miraculous, and the nation erupted in joy. So you would be euphoric. Euphoria is extreme joy, happiness. There was a time when handwritten letters were the primary mode of communication. There was a time. So when I'm looking at was a time, I'm driven by the idea of nostalgia. Nostalgia is thinking into the past, what was there. Each letter held a piece of the writer's soul, something emails lack. The decline in the species population can be attributed to habitat destruction, climate change, and pollution. Each factor plays a unique role in the complex interplay that threatens biodiversity. It is analytical. Now, we are talking in terms of the factors, how the decline in population of species, each factor plays a unique role in the complex interplay that threatens biodiversity. So he's analyzing the various forces or the various factors that have led to a decline in species population. Analytical is how, why, and possibly what next. Again, the plight of endangered animals is heartbreaking. We must act now before we lose more species forever. It is our duty to protect innocent lives. He's passionate. Yes. So it's heartbreaking. So we need now, it is the time now that we act. So he's urging people, he's passionate about the situation, passionate about the issue. The author's tone here is passionate. Okay, at the sunset, Anna walked along the beach, her thoughts a swirl of memories from the day. The waves lapped at her feet as she thought back on to her conversation with a friend, wondering if she made the right choice. Every step she took felt like a step further from the familiar, yet something. As the sun set, Anna walked along the beach. Can you picturize the situation? Am I helping you picturize the situation? It's a storytelling format. It's a kind of a commentary. Now, when we look at this format, it is primarily what we call as a narrative style of writing. Narration is commentary, storytelling, or making you feel or making you visualize the scene as it unfolds in front of you. Okay. The water cycle is a continuous process that involves the movement of water on, above, and below the surface of the earth. The cycle includes a process like evaporation, condensation. I'm explaining a process, possibly the water cycle here. So the tone becomes explanatory. I'm explaining the water cycle. So here the tone would be expository. Expository means an explanation. Okay. Dr. Martin Luther King was a beacon of hope and justice whose words moved the hearts of millions. His vision of the world where people are judged by their character, not by their color. So I'm trying to motivate. Okay. Dr. King's legacy stands as a testament of the power of the peaceful resistance and unyielding moral strength. So if you look at the words, was a beacon of hope whose words moved the hearts of millions. I'm trying to inspire people with the writings of or the ideas of Dr. Martin Luther King. So the tone would be panegyric. Panegyric is inspirational. Let's look at another question. One must always strive for humility as pride often blinds individuals to their own faults. Life teaches us that arrogance leads to downfall, while humility opens hearts to wisdom. To foster meaningful relationships, it is essential to practice kindness and avoid judging others harshly. In doing so, we not only improve ourselves but contribute positively to society. Look, what are the words that we are talking in terms of? We should always strive for humility. Life teaches us that arrogance leads to downfall. I'm trying to teach you, I'm trying to help you understand uh, the importance of humility in life. I'm trying to instruct you. Now, the moment the idea comes as a sense of instruction or a sense of teaching or a sense of imparting moral values or moral lessons, the tone becomes didactic. Let's look at another question. Politicians often promise to serve the interests of the common people, yet time and again they prioritize their own agendas and financial gains. This endless cycle of empty promises highlights their inherent flaws. Now, is the author biased towards the politicians? It seems so. Politicians often promise. So it is a prejudiced mindset that we are talking in terms of.
He's not critical. He'll find they have these flaws. They lack these qualities, as in kind of a factual interpretation, but it is kind of a biased mindset that we are talking. Empty promises, inherent flaws of democracy. So when we look at these terms, the author has an inherently negative mindset towards politicians. So the tone here would be cynical. Cynical is based on a predetermined mindset, a self-serving mindset. He says that politicians are having a self-serving mindset. Okay. Therefore, we choose the word cynical. Cynical means pessimistic.
So strategies for identifying tone: look for emotionally charged words, identify positive, negative, or neutral attitudes, consider that the author is questioning, appreciating, or disapproving, recognize humor or sarcasm or skepticism. Skepticism again is doubt. Okay, fine. Thank you all of you. Have a nice time. Stay healthy, stay safe. Hope you liked the video. In case you have liked the video, do comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.